Hey guys, what's up, it's jjaaxxthelegend, and today I'm here with another Minecraft redstone tutorial. Now in this week's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a two-way smelter that has an XP switch so you can collect all your XP from the smelter. Okay, so here we have the face of my smelter. We have 4 different chests here. We have our smelting input, our coal input, our output, and our industrial smelter output. Then we have these levers. So this lever here switches to the industrial smelter. So it switches from smelting in the single furnace to going into a big industrial furnace at the back. And this one here allows us to collect XP from this small furnace here. So let's have a look at how it works. Let's grab out some iron ore and some coal. Let's start by having it on regular. So we just put our iron in here, and then our coal in here. Then our furnace will start smelting, as you can see. Then as soon as that finishes, it'll all go into this chest here. And I've sped up the process a bit, but you can see it is now all in this chest. But you're like, there's a lot of XP being stored in that furnace at the moment. I want to get all of that out. So all you have to do is place one more flick this locking lever or this XP lever that I've labeled it. Then put one piece of iron in this top chest, and because it has still got a bit of power left in it, it'll still smelt it. And if not, I might have to add a little piece of coal, so I'll do that. And then because I've got this XP lever on, it will not go down into the next hopper. So let me hop into survival so you can see my XP go up. It will not go down there and it will just sit there. So when I take this out, it'll give me the little bit of XP that I got. Now, while that one furnace is great for smaller to medium tasks, if you want to smelt a whole double chest of stone, or no, cobblestone, or stone even to get cracked stone, that is not the best way to do it. So that's why we have our industrial smelter. So let's flick this lever, turn it off the XP mode and turn it onto the industrial smelter XP mode, grab out all of this iron and coal and chuck it all into this smelting input and into the coal input. Then let's head out the back to see the industrial smelter. Okay, so heading into our little industrial smelter zone, you can see all of our redstone in here. Now I'm not going to go over that, I'll do that on the redstone world, but you can see it is working away and these smelters are going to be turned on. As you can see, they are smelting away the iron, and once this is all complete, it'll go down our hoppers and go into our chest at the front here. So let's go and have a look at that. It'll do it reasonably quickly. So as you can see, we've already got 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 in there. So it is much faster than the single furnace, but you can't get the XP from that. So now you guys will have the choice after building this of either doing a small job and getting your XP or just doing a big job and getting it done fast. But now let's hop onto the tutorial world where you guys can actually see the redstoning behind this, and I'll explain what the redstone does. Okay, so we're now in my super awesome redstone flat world, and behind me we have this smelter, the switchable smelter. Now let's have a look at the redstoning behind here. Now, although it looks very complicated, it's just multiple simple parts joined together. Starting at the very front, we have this sort of cyan system here. That means when I flick one lever, one of these hoppers will be locked and then the other one will be open under this chest. So if I flick it again, they'll alternate. So let's have a look at that. So now the redstone torch is on and the repeater's off. Just like this. So that is a bit that sort of channels the coal into the right chest, whether we've got it on regular furnace mode or big industrial smelter mode. And then we have the next part in this area. We have just a plain hopper system leading in to here. This part is our green part. Very simple dropper system. That means when you chuck a few items in here, this would be the actual, I think this would be the coal system. Yeah, this is the coal system. So put some coal in there. If I chuck some coal in here, you can see it gets all dispensed up and goes into these hoppers, and then this item, this minecart will pick it up. Now you might be wondering, Jax, why have you got this system here? Well, it allows this minecart and hopper to pick up more items. So as you can see, it's picking up more items. Where if I just had a rail there, it would only pick up, say, one each time around. It would be very slow. So essentially what this does is it just holds it there for a little longer. I've got another one of these here with the same system, but instead of having it with the coal, I've got it with the ingots. Then I've got them simply going over an item sorter, and a smelter, an industrial smelter, and then going back into some more hoppers which lead into this front chest. Now this one here, the XP lever, the XP one, which doesn't have a lever on it for some reason, all this does is locks this hopper, so you can grab an item out of here and get your XP. So this is the simplest part, probably the simplest part. So let's start by listing the materials you'll need. So the materials you'll need will appear on your screen now. Now with building blocks, they can be any sort of block that redstone can be placed on. Now I suggest not using anything like glass or leaves because there are a few different weird properties with those. So try sticking with solid blocks like dirt, concrete, whatever you're up to. Well, whatever you would like. We're going to be starting by building this front little sort of panel here. For this, you're going to need in your inventory or your hotbar, your furnaces, your hoppers, your chests, your redstone lamps, your levers, and your dark oak planks or any sort of building block. Now, I'd like to point out that these redstone lamps are optional. You can place a normal block there, but I like to have them there because it makes them look like a lot cooler, so that it lets you know if the lever is flicked on or off. So, to start, you want to find a 5 long wall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or build one like this, and destroy the first 3 blocks. Now, from the front side, I'll mark it with a block. On the right hand side, place a chest like this. So it's still a double chest, but it looks like a 1 block from the front, with a hopper going into it. Okay, so now that we've got that, we need to place a redstone lamp beside it, with a lever on it. So that's our first layer. Now our next layer is going to have our furnace on it. So we want to place our furnace on this hopper, a hopper going into that furnace, like this, on the right side, and then place the rest with blocks. Now, the next one will have another redstone lamp here, a hopper here, going straight into the furnace, and a chest like we did below. So that's what it should look like. Now place a lever on this redstone lamp and 2 dark oak planks on the side. Now this is where it gets a slightly bit trickier because we have to place the orientation, like the way the hopper is facing in the correct way, otherwise this won't work. So what we have to do is come up from this hopper 1 block, and then go 1 block to the back. Now break that original block you placed. Now place a hopper going into that block like this, and then break it. That's going to be where some more hoppers are later on. Now place a hopper going into that hopper over the chest. You can still open this chest like this, and place a double chest on top of that like this. Now you can fill in the rest with blocks. Now with covering up this chest, you obviously can't put a block on top of it, because otherwise you won't be able to open it. So what I like to do is grab out a stair, like this, a dark oak stair, and just place it on top, because then it looks like a block from the front, but you can still open it. So that's what it should look like. So this top one is going to be our items to be smelted one, the middle one is our fuel, and the bottom one is the output. I'll label all of that on screen now, so you can quickly write down some signs. Okay, moving on to the back. For this, we're going to need in our hotbar, redstone dust, redstone torches, and cyan concrete, or any sort of building block, and some redstone repeaters. Start by placing 1 redstone torch on this redstone lamp here. On the lamp, I'm just going to call it a lamp. Then place 2 blocks, like this, and 1 with redstone coming out, and that should instantly be powered. Now place 3 more blocks, and then come 1 in, and then 1 back out. Place redstone on all of these. Now come in 2 more blocks like this, place redstone on both of those, and then come 1 step down with your blocks, and then continue this 3 along so it meets with the chests. Place redstone on all of these again. But on this very last one, we want to place a repeater. Now currently that repeater is going into nothing, but let's change that. Let's grab a piece of cyan concrete. I'll also need a hopper in our hotbar, and then place a hopper going into that cyan concrete, or any block there, so it should look like this. So that repeater is going directly into that hopper. Now directly beside it, on this block here, place 1 block diagonally up, with a redstone torch on it. Then place a redstone piece of redstone dust on top of that block, so that should turn the redstone torch off, with a piece of redstone dust on a block here. So it should look like this. Now we're going to work on this dropper system here. So grab out some droppers, some repeaters, some comparators, and some building blocks, as well as some redstone. To get the placement of your droppers, start on this block here, this one right here, and count 2 blocks to the side. 1, 2. Then 1 more, and on that 3rd block, place 3 droppers all facing into the sky. Then clear out a 3x3 area around that dropper, with the dropper being in the bottom left corner. Then place a comparator coming out of the bottom dropper, going into a block. Then place a repeater coming out of that block, going into nothing. Then place a piece of redstone dust on that, and then wrap it around to this comparator. Place 2 more blocks like this. Place a piece of redstone dust and a repeater going into the middle dropper. So we can place 2 items in here. One should be thrown up and the other should stay in the middle, like that. So that's the transportation system. Now we're going to be starting to place the scaffolding for all of these rails here in this redstoning. So let's get on with that. We're just going to need a few blocks for this. I suggest using a different block for this because we're going to be using these as reference blocks later on. Come over to this comparator and count 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on that 4th block, place a piece of pink concrete. Oh no, that's magenta concrete, or any sort of block that's a different color. Come one diagonally down and place 2 blocks, and then come 1 diagonally up. Now come 1 diagonally up and go another 6 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our rails are going to be placed on here later. Now, curving in, we want to place 1 block like this, and then this will connect onto our soon-to-be hoppers. So let's add in those now. For this part, we're just going to need our furnaces, our hoppers, and some building blocks. Start by coming 1 block away from here and placing a furnace. Doesn't matter which way it's facing, like that. Then place this all the way along until it meets the edge of this sort of 6 long pillar here, so you want to place a total of 6 furnaces. Then place hoppers going into all of the back of them or all of the side of them, like this, depending which way you've got it facing. And then place 2 scaffolding blocks at the very end of this hopper system, and then 1 block diagonally up, like this. Now let's place the railing system that delivers the items to the furnace that aren't the coal, the items that are going to be smelted. Let's start by placing hoppers along the top of all of these furnaces going directly down, just like this. Then come to the side of these hoppers and come 1 diagonally down, 1 out, and then 1 diagonally down, and then bring that out 1 more like this. And then down 1 more time and bring it out 3, 1, 2, 3, and go diagonally up 1 like this. So we can now officially start placing the rails, so let's grab those out. We'll just need some regular rails, some powered rails, and some, what are these? Detector rails. Yep, and some scaffolding blocks. That's all we'll need in our hotbar. Let's start at the pink blocks that are closest to this this dropper system over here. Place 1 regular rail on this pink block here, then come 1 down with a powered rail, and then 1 with a regular rail. Just like this. And then break this regular rail at the top and replace it with a block. Now going directly back up, place a powered rail and then some regular rails until this block right here, where you want to place a powered rail, a regular rail for the curve, and then curve it all the way around. Place regular rails on top of all of these hoppers, and on this very last block here, place a powered rail. Now over to this powered rail, we count 1, 2 blocks, and on that second block we place a detector rail. Just like this. Now it's time to power these rails. You'll also need a lever. Forgot to mention that. Now you don't want to power all of these rails. You only want to power this one here and this one here. You don't want to power this one. This one will be powered by the detector rail. To do that, just place a lever on the side of them. So that, and this one over here. We'll also want to power that one. So this is what it should all look like. Now you can use a fancy way of doing this, like with a redstone block, but the lever is probably the safest and most contained way of actually doing it without letting redstone currents flow everywhere. Now over to this system here. This system here is very similar in the way we start it. We place a regular rail, and then a powered rail, and then another regular rail. We break this original regular rail and place it with a magenta concrete or any sort of block. But now we place a powered rail, a regular rail, and then a detector rail. So it goes powered, regular, detector. Then place 1 more regular rail at the top of that and bring that regular rail all the way across to the very end like this. Then come 1 block out and 1 block diagonally up with your magenta blocks and place a powered rail. Now power this powered rail by placing a lever on this block here, not on this block here because otherwise it will lock the hopper, allowing no items to flow through it. Now to power this one right here, you can place a lever on the block right underneath it. And again, we don't want to power this one at the end. Now to create the collection system. Now the collection system is just a bunch of repeaters that get set off by this detector rail, so it's super simple. So you just need redstone and repeaters and maybe a few blocks. Start by coming directly onto this power rail and counting 3 blocks out with redstone. 1, 2, 3. Then go across 4 with redstone repeaters. 1, 2, 3, 4, all facing this way. A piece of redstone dust, and then another redstone repeater. Now set all of these to 4 ticks delay, so that is 3 clicks. So with the one over here, we want to place a few blocks. We want to place 2 coming out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the side. Now, and then 1 back over. Now we want to place this directly on top of the ground level, so it's 1 diagonally below the block the rail is sitting on. Now place a piece of redstone dust coming out of that block, another one in front of that, then place 1, 2, 3, 4 repeaters, and then 1 more going into this block here, and a redstone dust to connect it. A redstone dust or a block. Block's probably the safest, or you can place a redstone dust and then a block here. It's up to you. We just don't want that redstone dust and the redstone dust down here connecting. So place all of these repeaters on 4 ticks delay like we did before. So that is 3 clicks, and we now have a working system. Okay, so we're now getting onto the home stretch of this tutorial. All we got to do now is grab out a few hoppers and add in the minecarts, but we'll do the minecarts last. Let's start by adding our route from here all the way back into our collection system there. Let's start by grabbing out a chest and some hoppers and placing the chest in. The chest is going to go 1 block in front of this redstone lamp here, diagonally 1 down, so it's in the ground. Then place 1 hopper directly behind it and lead this hopper all the way back. All the way back so it's aligned with the furnace system. Like this. Once you've done that, bring it across so it's under the furnace system. Now you want to place hoppers under the furnace system. You might have to break a few blocks, but you want to make them all connected to the last one, which is going to be going directly into these hoppers that we just placed. Just like that. I'm going to fill in those blocks now to make it look nicer. And we have our first hopper system complete. Now the next one is now going to be delivering the items that are going to be smelted. So let's start. We need to deliver the items over to this powered rail here. So what we want to do is place a magenta concrete block or any sort of block on top of this rail and place a hopper going into that block. Now from the front side, which is this side here, come 1 to the left and then come all the way back connecting your hoppers. So it should connect up with this little nozzle here. Like this. Now we need to do the same over here. We have to place a magenta concrete on top of this powered rail, hopper, and then connect it all the way back to on top of these 3 droppers. Just like that. To place our final hoppers, come down to this dropper side here, which is closest to the cyan concrete, and then break 1 block down, and then break another 3 to the side going under the cyan. 1, 2, 3. Then break 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, coming back towards the front. Now place hoppers in every single one of these blocks, connecting to the dropper system. Now place 2 hoppers directly on top of each other, which connect it to this hopper here. That should allow it for it all to work, because that goes into that, and then it feeds all the way through. So now it's time to add our minecarts and do a bit of testing. To add our minecarts, all you have to do is grab them out and place them on the end of each system. So that's this part here, give them a little nudge, and this part here. And you can see, the first bit of testing is already done because everything is working. So on my world, everything is working because I built it correctly. But if it's not working, you've most likely placed one of these repeaters around the wrong way, or do not have this redstone dust directly below the detect rail, or directly beside it like this. Because if you have one repeater facing the wrong way, you can see it does not work. If you've got it facing the right way, it'll work just fine. So now onto the next bit of testing, the sort of locking and unlocking of the system. Let's start with normal furnace mode. So let's grab out some iron and some coal. I've got 4 stacks of each. Let's start with this lever off. So that means it's going to go straight into this regular furnace. Place the iron at the top, a stack, and the coal at the bottom, just a stack. As you see, it all goes into this, and it won't go into our industrial smelter. And you can see that this is working because this system here is not being activated, therefore the coal is not going in there. Just like that. So now you're like, I want to send a few stuff to my industrial smelter. So I'm going to turn this lever on and chuck some iron ore in here, and chuck some coal in there. Now the system is working very quickly and very rapidly and is sending all of the stuff up to the top. And you'll soon be able to see all the smelters are on, just like that. And they're smelting away the iron. Now let's wait for a few bits of iron to appear in this chest. So I just reached over 2 stacks pretty quickly. But now you're like, I want some XP, so I'm going to turn that off, turn this back on, and I'm going to collect some XP. All you have to do is open this up and take 1 ingot out, because none of these ingots are going into the hoppers, and you'll collect all of your XP like I showed in the intro. You just saw me collecting it. Then when you flick this back on, all of these ingots will instantly go back into the hopper. So it will become fully automatic again. Just like that. That's going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and remember to subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate the support if you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys later. Peace. And remember, stay carbonated.